So it's about 7:30 at night, and the sun's still up. It's nice, huh? I still like the sun early. I still like the early mornings better, but in fact, the sun's been up early, so I got nothing to complain about there either. I did some editing. Um, I guess it would have been this morning, last night, and I'm gonna spend the next. I'm going to a show tomorrow night, so I'm gonna spend the space dealing with editing. Um, and in fact, I might spend the next space dealing with editing too. I guess it's the shot that's on the 18th. I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm ready to really get back to what I'm doing. Um, yeah, maybe after the 20th. So I just watched the vlog from February 16th, which rendered overnight, and I'm scolding myself for having a cigarette. I'm feeling very poorly about it. I'm promising that I'll make some changes so that if I'm putting myself in these situations, what I'm questioning in this situation. Sorry, I just had my smoothie, so I'm a little cold. Ugh. What I'm questioning is if I can handle it. Can I handle it? Well, I went to another show on the 17th, and I succeeded. Relative to the caveat, but, that's fine. That's not such a big deal. And then I was in all the rest of February and almost all of March. I only went to one show. And as before, I had 0 cigarettes in that period, right? The only time I smoke is when I'm at shows, or otherwise out drinking. Speaking of which, I'm getting a stench in here. I don't know. I think the computer kind of is giving off fumes, and I probably just never noticed it before because But now that I can smell better, I'm starting to notice it. Um, the difference between the laundry detergent I'm using and cigarette smell is, see, I'm not sure that if it's that the laundry detergent seems to have, some odor off of it that triggers nicotine in my mind, or if it's the fact that the washing machine out there has been used by smokers, including myself, for so long that you get kind of a residue when you take it out. I don't know. I don't think they fixed the dryer back there yet. They should have done that by now too. These are they're not attentive to these kinds of things. But anyway, that's another rant. Well, I mean that's kind of basic, right? I suppose I could go to a laundromat, but I mean that's the same thing. You use a dryer at a laundromat. Like, is it full of nicotine? Like you'd expect it probably is, right? I don't know. It's like I smell my sweater here, which has just been hanging up there, and I get a little bit of a hint on it, but I don't. I can't. I still can't really tell. I don't think this is a. This is. I think this isn't a deficit. This is just confusing, And I may be a little bit paranoid. I might be tricking myself into thinking I can smell the third-hand smoke. I'm coughing a little bit, but I was out this week, and I had a few cigarettes when I was out, which is what I wanted to talk about. But I was in all of March. I went out on the 24th to see Cry Wolf just because it was nice out. And I had a handful of cigarettes that day. Right? It was more than I wanted, but at the same time, I kind of felt okay with it at the time. Due to kind of a variety of things. And then I was in for another 2 weeks. Or was it 7? Yeah, almost 2 weeks. Went on the 5th. And in fact, on the vlog on the 5th, I talk about it a little bit. I say I'm not going to have a cigarette until 9 o'clock. And in fact, I didn't. I didn't have a cigarette until I got to the bar. No, that's not true. I had one a block on the way. I was late to the bar, and I was about 2 blocks from it. Well, maybe a little bit more. It was on the way there. It was raining out. That night, I smoked more than I wanted to. I'm comfortable in that statement. But even so, it was like between sets kind of thing. It was more than I should have, but it was within reasonable limits too. The night after that was actually better because I didn't have one until I got. I didn't have one on the way there. It wasn't until I got to the Magic Stick, so again, it wasn't until like 10 o'clock. And then I only had a couple. So, and they were strategic. That was reasonable. Everything about that was reasonable. Okay. This week I went out twice. And I bummed smokes in Windsor on both nights, which I hadn't done in months. And what was the first night? The first night was Floating Points. Yeah, it was at that. Yeah. Actually, you know what? It wasn't so bad that night either. I'm not even gonna. I bumped some random smokes that night, but it was like it might add up to like 2 smokes or something, right? Like that night wasn't bad either. Last night was it was Tuesday night. Tuesday night was bad. Like Tuesday night was just pointless. And in fact, not only was it not around the caveat, but the caveat didn't even apply. So, and that was the first night that the caveat didn't apply in quite a while. So, and that's something that I've learned. Well, there's places that are better than others, right? But the caveat did not apply that night, and in fact, that's probably the reason I smoked so much. So can I handle it? It would be a lot easier if, like, I didn't have to even think about what I'm thinking about, right? I mean, that's the right answer, right? Like, from a health perspective, if I could maybe even eat something before I went over, then I probably I would have no reason to smoke. I would never be out in the smoking section, right? Unless maybe I was out there to share a little bit. So the kind of basis. I really came down hard on myself on that night, and it was just about feeling as though I wasn't living up to my own expectations. And what I'm kind of thinking at this point is that maybe I don't want to say I've lowered my own expectations so much as I've made them a little bit more flexible. It's all about the caveat. And I've known, I'm not, like, this is not a new realization. I have not come to this epiphany this evening. It was always about the caveat. And if I didn't have the caveat, I wouldn't be smoking at all. Like zero. I would never go out there. And so I'm going to have to think about this a little bit. I'm probably going to just float for the next couple of days. I think maybe 420 is a good day to really reflect. But I'm feeling like I need to make a choice. As to whether I can handle this or not. Because the truth is that right now I am having difficulty with the premise of going to concerts and not smoking. I'm having difficulty handling that. For the reason I've outlined. So I'm not smoking at home, although like I say, this bumming smokes in Windsor thing, I don't I don't want to ever do that again. How about this? Yeah, I pointed out in the video, you fall down. You get back up. I'm going to have a no smokes in Windsor rule from here on in. Unless I'm at the bar, specifically. And even then, it's still all with a caveat. The bars in Windsor, going to be a little less open than the ones here. In Detroit. Yeah, I just wanted to. It's just an update on this. It's just. It's a struggle. I know it's a struggle. How am I doing with it? I'm not smoking at home, and there's. I'm gonna go eat in the other room with the computer in here, just to see about the smell, because I'm definitely breathing something in, and I don't like it. It doesn't make any sense for there to be fumes in this room. There's a door over there. It's a non-smoker upstairs, I think. Like I say, I suspect he's a secret bathroom smoker. Like the source of it should be over there. So, I mean, if I go over there and I sit over there, and I notice it's really bad over there, then I can maybe conclude that it's coming in over there and seeping through the whole space. Smoke is gonna spread out, right? But like if I walk out, I can't smell it outside. So it's like, I think it's gotta be the laptop. No, I need to like be. Am I just gonna keep doing this? Am I just gonna keep going out and bumping smokes all night? I mean, I'm gonna piss people off from time to time too, right? It's the premise is that I'm quitting smoking, right? If it ever happens, then yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling a pressure from myself to say that when I go on Friday, I won't have a cigarette except under the caveat. But I don't, I don't really expect to even want to hold to that because I'm going to be transiting. See, and this is the problem, right? I'm going to the first bar. I'll have a few drinks there, and then I'm going to move from that bar to the other bar. I'm going to want at least one cigarette as I'm walking, and I know that. And, like, I don't even want to deny myself it. And so the next question then is that if I can't handle this, or I don't want to handle this, then do I need to seriously think about staying in for a little while? Or do I just want to kind of say they admit defeat? What does that mean? Who am I? I'm surrendering to myself. I'm not surrendering to the tobacco because I'm not a slave to it. It, I mean, it is a drug. It has properties, and I'm utilizing them. You know, it's just I made a choice to have. I mean, I said that. Am I gonna walk it back? I have a mind. I can change it if I want. It's just I'm not there yet. Why don't I do this? I'm going to make a pledge to be more conscious of the situation. There are certain places that are harder than others. But if I make a pledge to be conscious, do I really need to go out and ask someone for a smoke? Or ask if I could buy a smoke from someone? Do I really need to do that? And instead of, being driven by habit and impulse, you know, let's be a little bit more thoughtful in what I'm doing. I think that's a good step to start. Hey, there's a lot to be positive about regarding this. I've stopped habitually smoking, right? Over a year ago. I should be proud of that. But I'm not sure yet how to deal with this sort of, like I say, it's not, somebody accused me of being a social smoker the other night. That's not even true. It's not even that I'm a social smoker. It's all about the caveat. It really is. Okay. I used to say if I could get down to, you know, when I first, it was true when I first started smoking, and I would do that. I did this for years. I'd go and I'd buy a pack of cigarettes and I'd give half of it away at the party. I was popular at the party. Um, because I wanted a couple of cigarettes for, when I was sparking with my friends. Um, I started smoking as a stimulant in university. So I was really tired, and I knew that was going to keep me awake better than coffee. And I was right, it did. And that's when I got hooked, is because of the stimulant effects. But when nothing else would keep me awake, I mean, I guess I had a choice between cigarettes and cocaine, right? And I've never tried cocaine. I'm not. The idea of a nose drug scares me. I don't even want to. No. Honestly, I think a lot of it is due to the due to the use, due to the way that it's used or taken. I've never been in a face-to-face situation where I've had the opportunity to. I guess that would be smoking crack. I've never been in that situation. I don't know how I would certainly be more likely to take a hit off a pipe than I would be to snort something. That's for sure. But I don't think I would either. But I used to say that if I can get back to the way it was before, and now I am back to the way it was before, and like I said, that's a huge, it's a huge step, right? I've made a lot of progress, and I should be proud of it. But now, I don't know. I don't know if I want to or not. I don't know if I want to take the next step. Am I being coerced into it? I'm pretty strong-willed, actually. If I really want to do something, I'm going to do it. But is the fact that I'm not doing it, does it mean I don't want to, despite realizing that it's all with the caveat? I don't know. Like I said, I think the first thing is just first step needs to be just let's be let's stop being impulsive and let's be more sparing. You know, even if that means standing outside with the smokers without smoking. And you know what? It's warm enough, or it's getting to be warm enough now, that that might be the answer that takes me through the summer. That really might. And I also need to point something else out. I'm not going to a lot of rock shows. I think that this whole idea of going out might itself be fizzing out. And when that happens, I don't. I don't see a lot of opportunity to fail. So do I just ride it out? I don't know. I don't. Like I say, I don't want to be. The other, I guess it was about 2 months ago now, a little less than. I was really strict on myself. I think maybe I was more strict on myself at that point than I need to be, because I'd felt like I was failing, right? I wasn't meeting my own expectations. And maybe that was a consequence of, smoking on that night being pointless. Because it was really aimless smoking. And like I say, the night immediately afterwards, there was none of that. And then the next couple of nights, it was very minimal. I wasn't it was on February 16th that I felt myself going back into my old habits. And then I pulled back. And then I felt myself going back into my old habits again, a little bit on the 10th, but much more so on the 11th. So, I mean, this is coming off of watching the vlog from the 16th, but I was thinking it yesterday too, or the day before too. Um, and I guess it's like I say, there's no use at yelling at yourself when you fall down and you get back up. And those other nights weren't so bad, but I am feeling myself going back into my old habits, and I need to check myself again. But maybe without being um, as angry with myself as I was, because maybe the sporadic small-scale use of cigarettes, you know? I want to stop. The thing I want to stop is I want to stop going out to the smoking section and just sitting out there. I want to stop doing that. And I think that, yeah. Okay, so we got some synthesis here, right? We had a thesis and an antithesis, and we're going to merge them together. Let's be more conscious of the reality of it, and let's try to make an effort not to sit out in the patio or in the smoking section. Just sitting out there talking. Let's try not to do that. And if we can put these things together, hopefully I can come up with something that I'm a little bit happier with. Like I said, the last couple of days weren't bad. They weren't. Or the end of March, first couple of days in April. It's the last two nights out. It was Monday and especially Tuesday that I did find myself falling back into my old habits. And I got to check myself. And if I do it again, I'll have to check myself. And I'll probably fall down again. And I just got to keep getting up and keep doing it. Keep trying to do it right until I get it right. Like I said, nobody said this was going to be easy. And I'm trying to find a middle point that is maybe going to be hard to really snap into, right? As difficulty as cutting, I've done the hard part. I did the hard part, right? And as difficult as that is, I'm trying to find a perfect middle point where I'm smoking the exact amount that makes sense, right? I mean, how do you find that without trial and error, right? How do you find that path without falling down, right? I've been ranting a while. As you can see, this is something that, is really at the top of my mind, has been for a while. I mean, I'm suing the landlord to keep the smoke out of the apartment. I really want to get this to the point where it has the least amount of effect on me as it can. And I guess the key is being cognizant. It's just being cognizant of what's here and what I need to do and how I need to react. So, like I say, I'm going to watch another vlog or two. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to eat it over there just to see about the smell. And let's hope I don't get pissed off, because I'm going to be... All I did was run a fucking fan. I put a fan in the front door and it was fine. But it's May 11th. May 11th. And I suspect we'll talk again tomorrow when I'm on my way out of here.